Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. What else takes everything you've got? Body slamming a bartender when you're drunk AF. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
My first witness is in the courtroom. Asked that Petticord be designated state's representative. The other witness is right outside the double doors.
Go ahead, put the pencil back. Thank you.
Mr. Kerr, would you like to make an opening statement before we begin?
Yes, sir. I know I have a history from a year ago. I got sentenced to probation and got a domestic violence course I've been going through. And I do know that I try to walk away from the situation that happened the evening in question. And things just went south real quick.
You're not still on probation, correct?
Yes, I am.
You are still on probation.
I'm on non-reported probation.
Non-reporting with us or with somebody
No,
else?
with Franklin County.
Franklin County. Okay. Mr. McKing, you may call your first witness.
Kerry Jones.
Right up here to the witness stand, please. You'll see some steps off to your left. Go up those steps, remain standing. Then raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard should be true, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or I will penalty be approved.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Carrie Dia Jones, Jones.
State your full home address.
May proceed.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you know an individual by the name of Timothy Kerr?
Yes, sir.
Is he in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
And point him out to the judge, if you would. You're pointing to the gentleman at the other table?
Yes.
If the record reflects she's identified the defendant.
Yes, sir.
How long have you known Mr. Kerr?
Approximately 30 years.
And calling your attention to August 9th, 2024, did you have occasion to see him?
Yes.
Where'd you see him at?
At the hub.
Out the where?
At the hub.
That's the bar in
Yes.
Newark on 11th Street and
Yes.
Church? Okay. How long had you been there?
I had just got there. I had gotten off work maybe a half an hour before the incident occurred.
So he was already there?
Yes.
What did you notice about him when you arrived?
He was highly intoxicated. He had bumped into our table, knocked over a couple beers. We had moved a couple times just to make it more secure. I had offered for him to sleep on my sofa because of his intoxication level. We had asked for his keys and he had given them to us.
Now, who's the we?
Me and your other witness, Teresa Sullivan.
Okay, go ahead.
It wasn't a problem at the time. He had fallen asleep in the front seat of his car. We had
Now, when he fell asleep, when he went out to his car, did you have his keys with at that time?
No, we took them at that time.
Okay, so you had the keys?
Yes, but he knew that we were taking them.
Okay, go ahead.
We had found a bottle of Jägermeister that was empty, 3/4 of a bottle of Fireball that had been drank. And this was all before they went to the bar. At the bar, it was quoted that they were drinking Irish breakfast shots and their beers. So his level of intoxication was over the top.
Now, you've known him for 30 years. How did you happen to know him?
He was friends with my ex-husband, my children's father.
Okay. Saw him actually drinking at the Hub?
Yes,
And that bar is located in the city of Newark, Licking County, Ohio?
yes,
And so you got him to go out to his car,
yes.
and you felt he was asleep?
He was drooling on himself.
Okay, and then what happened?
He had woke up, had come back at us demanding the keys, And I don't let anyone drink and drive. They could hurt somebody's children. So we had refused the keys, told him that he had agreed to sleep on my couch. And he had gotten very upset and had started screaming at Teresa. And he had stepped back and started to go forward, and I'd stepped in between them.
Okay.
And I told him not to talk to her that way, and that's when he had grabbed a hold of me and slammed me to the ground.
Okay. Couple of questions there. When you stepped in between he and Ms. Sullivan, did you touch him, hit him,
No.
slug him,
No.
threaten him in any way, shape, or form?
No.
So he instead grabs a hold of you?
He lunged forward up under my arms and had slammed me like a football slammed to the ground.
Can you kind of illustrate the motion that he would have used to throw
He
you
had
on the
come
ground?
forward like this and went up under my arms and followed through. And when I got hit the ground, I had hit my head, my glasses had went behind me and my shoes had went in front of me.
He threw you forcefully.
Yes.
Did he hurt you?
I'm still having problems with my left shoulder.
Did you also hit it when he threw you to the ground?
Did I what?
Did you also hit your shoulder when he threw you to the
Yes.
ground?
My back, my shoulder, my head.
And what happened after that, if you remember?
After that, things become fuzzy. I know that the police were called by Teresa and by a bystander.
Okay.
He had taken off walking, I know that.
The defendant had taken off walking?
Yes, he had started to walk down towards the car wash.
Was this before or after him throwing you to the ground?
It was after, and he had
Okay.
circled around and came back again, and then the police showed up.
Okay. At any point in time, did you make any threats to him or anything else?
No,
And are you seeing a medical personnel?
I just got off another run of steroids. This last one was 15 days long, and I need to do a follow-up visit for my shoulder.
Okay. There hadn't been any surgery or anything like
No.
that at this point?
No,
What he threw you down on, what surface was there?
concrete.
Just concrete?
It was the asphalt in the parking lot.
Okay, so it was asphalt, not concrete?
Yeah.
But it was hard?
It was hard.
Okay. Anything else? Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Kerr, you have any questions for the witness?
Yeah, when I asked you for the keys to my vehicles back, you told me no.
Correct.
What did I ask you if I can have after that?
You needed to go home and check your dog, is what you said.
I asked if I can have my house keys, you can keep my truck keys, I don't care about the truck, I just need my house keys to go home, is that correct?
Absolutely, but then you proceeded to become aggressive before I could even get to the keys.
No further questions.
Mr. King?
Where do you work?
I work 2 jobs. One is at Bargain Hunt and Heath, and the other one is at the Ancient Order of
And
Druids.
what do you do at the Druids?
I bartend.
I've seen people intoxicated before.
Yes.
Would it have been a good idea for the defendant to have driven?
No.
And what about the house keys? Did you have any objection to the house keys?
No.
Did you tell him you objected to the house keys?
No.
Did you have an opportunity to give him the house keys?
No.
And why not?
He became aggressive before I could get them out of my purse.
And that initially was to Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
Okay, nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Kerr, any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you may step down.
Teresa Sullivan?
Yeah, that one, please. You follow me? You'll see some steps up to your left, go up those steps, remain standing, and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God or under penalty of perjury.
I do.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name,
Teresa Sullivan, Sullivan.
and state your full home address, please. Thank you.
May I proceed?
Thank you. Do you know an individual by the name of Timothy Kerr?
I do,
Is he in the courtroom today?
yes.
And point him out to the judge, if you would. Gentleman at
Straight
the
ahead.
other table.
Yep.
And how long have you known him?
7 months now, maybe, since November of last year.
November of '23?
Yes,
Okay, so you knew him on August 9th, 2024?
I did,
And do you know a Carrie Jones?
yes.
How do you know her?
She's my best friend.
Okay. And did you happen to be with her on August 9th, 2024?
I did, I picked her up from work.
Okay. And had you just gotten off work as well?
Yeah, I work at American Legions. I
Okay.
closed at Legions and picked her up at Druids.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
We stopped at the Hub for a beer and just to sit and talk after we get off work.
Now, the Hub, that's the bar in the city of Newark, Licking County, Ohio?
Yeah, on Church Street.
And when you got there, what happened?
We sat in my vehicle for a little bit and talked, and Timothy and one of our other friends was there already. They had been drinking. Carrie and I went in, got a beer, came out. We always sit at the end at the last table on the patio. And we sat there, and Chelsea and Tim came over. Tim was real wobbly, knocked over 2 of our beers. We had to go get new beers. We moved. He started talking to us about a new job that he wanted to take. Wobbling again, spilled another beer on us. He went to his truck. About 10, 15 minutes goes by. I'm like, is Tim okay? They've been friends for years. We go out to check on him. He's passed out in the driver's seat with keys in his truck. So I removed his keys from the truck
Now, why did you remove his keys?
because I didn't want him to drive because he was passed out and I didn't want him to wake up and take off and hurt somebody.
You've been around people who've been drinking before?
I have.
Would it have been a good idea for him to get behind the wheel of a car and drive, or a
I
truck?
couldn't even hardly see straight.
Okay. So then what happened?
Got him to the back seat. He asked us if he could stay with Carrie. I told him yes, that I would drive him to Carrie's and drop him off, and I took her home. He slept in the back seat for maybe 40 minutes. Got out, started walking, came back, wanting his keys. He's behind his driver's seat, and I look down and I pull a bottle of Jägermeister out and a bottle of Fireball that he had been drinking. Then he wants to lay back down because he feels sick, just let him lay down. We're like, no, you need to get up, we're about to leave. And he started yelling that he wanted his keys. Where's my keys? Where's my keys?
Now, did he specify what keys?
His truck keys
Okay.
and his house keys. He said, I want to go home. And we said, we're taking you to Carrie's. I said, I'm driving you to Carrie's. I want my effing keys. We move around to the passenger's side. He wants to know where his keys are. He thought Carrie had them. She said, I don't have them. He says, where's my effing keys? And finally I was like, I have them. They're in my purse. I'll give them to Carrie when we get you home. So he stepped towards me and said, I want my fucking keys, and Carrie took a step to the right.
Now, was she aggressive? Did she threaten
No.
him? Did she hit him?
Not at all. She literally just, we were standing side by side. He was up against his truck. He took a step towards me and I want my effing keys, and Carrie just slid sideways and was like, calm down. You're not getting your keys. I'm taking my fucking keys. I just want to go home. About that time, he took a step back, went forward, put both his arms under both of her arms, picked her up, slammed her on the ground. She goes backwards, her head hits the ground, her glasses are going one way, her feet are up, and as he kind of stabilizes himself, he falls down. So we're worried about Carrie. I get her up to make sure she's okay, and she's like, you just threw me on the ground.
Was it a forceful throw?
Oh, it was a football tackle throw.
And had she done anything at that point in time to justify being thrown to the ground?
No, all we were trying to do was tell him he wasn't gonna get his keys.
She complained of any injuries at that time?
Yeah, it hurt her back, her lower back and her shoulder. It like stoved her, because when she went down, she hit her left shoulder first, and then her head bounced up. Her glasses, I thought her glasses were broke, but they were okay. So it was maybe 5-10 minutes. We seen a bunch of police cars. By this time, there's a bunch of cops down the road, and I called 911 and reported it and asked him to come. And he took off walking like he was gonna leave again. So about the time the cops rolled up, I think he was coming back from Circle K or going across to Circle K, but that's in the general area that he was.
Okay. Anything else? Nothing further.
Mr. Kerr, you have any questions for the witness?
Yes. You said you took the keys out of my truck after I was in the truck, passed out.
I did.
You did? But the keys weren't taken from me before I got in the truck.
Hank took them and had them in your truck and then had put them back because you wanted them.
Okay.
You were slumped over the driver's seat when I took your keys.
Okay. No more questions.
You may step down.
We've rest, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Kerr, you have any witnesses today?
I don't, just myself.
Okay, would you like to testify?
Yes, I would.
Okay,
And I do have some pictures as well for,
okay. Bring them with you.
Come on up here to the witness stand, please. You're right up there, remain standing, and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, and under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Abstain. State your full name, spell your last name,
Timothy Mason Kerr, Kerr.
and state your full home address. Thank you.
Want to tell me what happened, Mr. Kerr?
I'm sorry.
Do you want to tell me what happened?
Yes, I went to the hub down on 11th Street with a mutual friend of ours, Chelsea. We was there to watch the bands. We was there for a few hours. I got pretty intoxicated. Miss Sullivan and Mrs. Jones showed up. I talked to them for a few minutes. I knocked a couple of their beers over. I said, I'm going up to the truck. I'm passing out. I've had enough. I got woke up. Them taking, I keep my keys in my pocket just like this. I got woke up to them taking the keys out of my pocket, saying, we're taking your keys, you're not driving, you're going home with us. All right, well, I was intoxicated, I kind of rudely woke up. I said, I need my keys back, I need to go home, I need to take care of my dog. At least give me my house keys, you can keep my truck keys, I can come get it tomorrow. And they're like, no, you're coming home with us. So I walked across the street, past Circle K, past the football field, and went down to the car wash and sat down there for 10 minutes. A mutual friend of ours walked down with me, walked behind me, and we was talking for a minute. He said, what's going on? Why are you getting so angry? I said, I just want to go home. I said, I just want my house keys. I know you guys don't want me to drive. You can keep my truck. I don't care. I just want to go home. I just want my house keys. He said, well, let's go up here and see what we can do to get you your house key. Me and him walked back up to the bar. We got up there, and everybody was sitting on the tailgate of my truck. And I asked, where's my keys? And they said, we don't have your keys no more. We gave them to the bartender. And at that time, I tossed my phone into the bed of my truck, and I walked around to the passenger side of it. Terry was standing right there by the passenger door. I went to take a side step to go around her, and I heard Carrie come off. She jumped off the tailgate and turned around and ran towards me. I put my hands up to block her, and she knocked us both over. I tore my pant leg open, completely skinned my knee wide open, and she went down the other way. I peeled myself back up off the concrete, stood there for a minute. I was still intoxicated, trying to figure out what was going on. I started to walk away, and that's when the police showed up, and I got arrested. And I got pictures here to show my knee from where I went down, where I got hurt.
When did you take those?
That was the day I went to jail on a Thursday. I got out Friday afternoon.
Okay. That's what your knee looked like?
Yes.
How did that happen?
From where she charged after me, I put my hands up to block her, and she knocked us both over. And I've got a message from the young lady I went to the bar with stating I was already passed out way before they ever decided to come out and get me. Her and Carrie got in an argument at the bar, so Carrie's already in a bad mood at the start.
Is that person here today with you?
No, she's not. She won't speak to me because she's good friends with them. But I've had it in text message shown where I was already passed out in my truck when she left before they was ever ready to leave the bar.
Okay, if she's not here to testify, I can't consider anything she said.
And then I've also got where Miss Sullivan was posting all over Facebook about the incident, and now I got her boyfriend writing me, threatening me.
Okay. Well, you had a chance to ask her about that. Did she say something different than she said today?
What's that?
Did she say something different than she said today?
Yes,
On there?
yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to testify about?
No, sir.
Mr. King?
Said you were very intoxicated?
Yes, sir.
How intoxicated is that? How much did you have to drink?
I had a bottle of fire, I brought a bottle of Fireball with me. It probably had about that much left in it. And me and one of our mutual friends drank the rest of it. I didn't touch none of the Jägermeister because the stuff would make me throw up. But I probably had a good nine beers on top of that.
And you don't think your consumption of alcohol affected your recollection of events?
Oh, I'm pretty clear about the events.
And
Because like I said, I cut myself off and went to the truck, and I was asleep for a good few hours before this event ever happened
where do you live?
in Columbus.
Who did you come to the bar with?
That's Chelsea Ray, a mutual friend of all three of us.
And she's not here.
No, sir. I've tried writing
And
her, and she won't
had she
write.
been drinking as well?
Yes, sir.
She any condition to drive?
No, sir.
And so the other two ladies, Ms. Jones and Ms. Sullivan, are lying when they say you picked her up and slammed her onto the pavement.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further.
I have two fake hips. There's no way possible I can pick her up like that.
You may step down. You want to offer those photographs today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Into the bailiff.
I just need to,
No, get all of them.
even the text messages.
Yeah.
Well, can I see
Let Mr. King
those?
see 'em.
Oh, I missed one. There's part of it.
You know who that's from?
I don't know who Jed is.
Okay. I can't read those. Said it, I'd knock her on her ass.
Anything else today, Mr. Kerr?
No, sir.
Okay.
I have no objection to the photographs, Your Honor. I do object to the text messages, the one I can actually read. There's nothing inconsistent at all in there.
Okay. There's a statement from Ms. Sullivan?
Yeah,
Okay.
talking about busting Terry's.
Okay. I'll look at it. And as I told him, they're
Thank you.
probably not admissible.
He was here earlier. Is that Stover?
Yes,
Continue.
yeah, court-appointed attorney.
And those are not admissible, they're hearsay. Okay. Mr. King, anything else today?
No rebuttal, Your Honor.
Okay. Like to say anything in closing?
Just point out, Your Honor, by his own admission, he was very intoxicated. I don't care if they were wrongfully withholding his house keys in Columbus or not. That is no reason, and they were both consistent. He went aggressively towards Ms. Sullivan. Ms. Jones stepped in, not to talk that way, and both of them described her being thrown forcefully to that asphalt parking lot. And over a month later, she is still experiencing pain in her head and primary shoulder. There is no self-defense here, and he's guilty as charged. Thank you.
Mr. Curry, you want to say anything in closing?
Yes, Mrs. Jones has had prior injuries to herself before this. There's plenty of men that was around when all this happened. I'm sure if I was to pick her up and body slammed her or something, I would hope somebody would have stepped in and stopped me. Like I said, I've had both my hips replaced. There's no way possible I could pick her up and slam her like that without hurting myself. No, y'all, you know.
Well, based on the evidence presented here today, Mr. Crowe finds you guilty of assault. Is that correct? No. Okay. Mr. King, you have a recommendation today?
Well, whatever program he's in out of Franklin County obviously isn't working. He's got a horrible record, and I believe by his own admission, alcohol certainly played a part in this and continues to be a problem for him. I don't think that supervision, if he lives in Franklin County, is worthwhile, so I would recommend a jail sentence of 60 days flat. Thank you.
Anybody want to say anything today? No?
They do not wish to.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Kerr, what program are you in on probation?
This is a domestic violence group I go
Yeah,
to every
okay.
Monday and Wednesday.
Are you supposed to be drinking on your probation?
They told me there was no stipulations as long as I don't show up drunk. I do have a medical marijuana card, so I mean, but if you check with the courts, you can see I've done everything that I was supposed to have done. I've been doing everything
Okay.
good in the
Okay.
courts.
Does your probation officer know about this case going on?
Yes, they do.
Okay. You want to say anything before I sentence you today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll impose court costs and 60 days in jail. Anything else today? Thank you.
Thank you.